Hello, this is Tiffany Winters here to tell you a little bit more about how I am going about learning Latin. I have found that the most effective way to learn a foreign language is to get familiar with a book that has been translated a lot. Why is this? Well, if you become familiar with the book, then all you have to do when you get another target language is find a translation of that book. And although this is not by any means a religious channel, and I'm not interested in pushing religion on this channel, I have to say that the book that I have found the most useful is the Bible. This is primarily because Christianity is an evangelical faith, and the Christian faith does not acknowledge a hierarchy of language, unlike other faiths that say it's best to read the holy book in the language it was written, and there's a lot of sense to that. You can certainly see why people say that, because you lose quite a bit in translation. The Christian faith says the most important thing is that you read the book in the language you will read it in. So the Christian faith tends to have a strong tradition of translating the Bible into as many languages as possible. However, as I say, I'm not trying to push a religion down your throat. You can probably get a similar result with something like Tolstoy's Anna Karenina or War and Peace, or really any famous novel that has been translated at least 20 times. The reason I stick to the Bible is simply because it does have that religious fervor behind it. You can be sure that out there somewhere there will be some Christian who's devoting their life to translating it into another language, and because life is not easily predicted, I don't know at what point I'm going to have to learn another language very, very fast. So I like to be sure that I'm working with a book that there will be a translation of it. But as I say, any book at all that's been translated a lot can be your key to learning a foreign language. Now, with Latin, you are going to be limited. This is a dead language, obviously, so not many people are making translations into Latin. However, I do believe Winnie the Pooh has been translated into Latin, so you could probably get your hands on that from the internet. But as I say, I do find the Bible to be the most useful source of language learning for me, and the website I find the most useful is a website called BibleIs. That's BIBLE.is. You can just Google that. I think that there are over 100 languages on there. They come with the text and a little button that will actually read it to you. So it's a really useful website for smashing your way through foreign languages. It does have Latin on there, but only the New Testament seems to have the reading button, which is quite useful because you can just listen to it and it will begin to click. The other thing that I find quite useful when learning Latin is to view it as a code rather than a language. And what you need to do is give yourself a key, something that's going to make breaking the language easy. So what I would do is I would take a part of the Bible or your Tolstoy novel or whatever you've chosen. And by the way, choose something large. Initially it will seem daunting, but in the long run it's easier to read large pieces of your target language because there are more clues in there than small sentences. So pick a large book, whatever you pick. You need to take a page of that and read it every day for a month until you really do understand. The vocabulary you pick up in the intense reading of the same page will become your key for smashing through the rest of the book, and then you need to read through the book, and once you've done this you will be well on your way to understanding the language. So what I would do is I would pick a piece of, for me personally, I would pick a chapter of the Bible and I would just read it over and over and over and over and over until I really did understand what was going on in the language, and then I would start moving on with the rest of the Bible. And indeed you can do that with any book at all. Just make sure you get one that's been translated a lot, because once you've hammered your way through Latin, you don't really know whether you're going to want to go into French or Romanian. You don't know what opportunities are going to open up in your life. So before you purchase the book, check how many times has this story actually been translated, because we want to be strategic about this. It's going to make our life much, much easier. Until next time, this is Tiffany saying Bonum Fortunum.